Hello, so I know you guys are probably a little bit shocked because this is the first time I'm really talking, like face to face. I know this is a little bit uncomfortable and I'm sorry if it is, but I have something awesome planned today. Anyway, happy birthday to Ash! Yay! It's actually a few days before his birthday. We will be going to New York City. I can tell you guys the locations as I go, so you guys can go there too. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, as they say. So I'm going to go get ready. I will see you guys on the bus.
A few days before my trip, I actually got a chance to visit New Jersey with my family. I saw New York City from a distance and was a little sleep deprived, but that doesn't really matter. I went to a neat Japanese market that reminded me a lot of my hometown. Here's some food that I ate. Very, very cool, very nice. But I was literally standing at this one spot for hours. It was just a beautiful view. And yeah, we also went here. It's like CSI New York. While I'm walking away from Manhattan, let me tell you guys why this trip is like really cool to me. I'm currently 19 years old and a college student just like Eiji, and I'm also from Japan, so that's really cool. I don't think I'll find an Ash here, and I kind of hope I don't run into street gangs, but you get the drift. Whoa. So basically, yeah, this whole video is just gonna be me finding as many banana fish locations as I can in 24 hours. So yeah, wish me luck.
I'm so tired. Here is my Ash-inspired outfit of the day. I also packed these Cape Cod chips. I only got it because it says Cape Cod on it. That's where Ash is from. So I also packed this, Catching the Ride. It's the name of the last episode. I'm actually already halfway through it. It's a very good book. I totally recommend it.
Going through the Lincoln Tunnel, we arrived at New York City at 1:30 p.m. After checking into the hotel, we went up the Empire State Building.
I'm low-key terrified of heights.
It's not really a part of Banana Fish, but for the sake of being in New York, it was definitely worth it. I got to see the world that Ash was running around in from the sky. Plus, my friends kind of dared me to do it. They thought I wouldn't do it because I was scared of heights, but you know, I proved them wrong. Surprisingly, my fear of heights didn't really affect me too much outside of the elevator ride up and down. It was so high from the ground, it sort of felt unreal, and like I was staring at a big 360 painting. There were some people who were nervous to go up to the 102nd floor though, but in my opinion, this is something anyone can do. The scariest part is just buying the ticket. Next, we went to the New York Public Library, where Ash died in episode 24. It actually wasn't too far from the Empire State Building, so it was pretty easy to go to. I saw a few birds outside and the view was just magnificent. But remember in my ending explain video how I said his death was a lot like the leopard? Well, let me tell you, it was a mountain just to get to the Rose Room alone. Someone in the comments of that video told me about the amount of stairs in this building, and they weren't kidding.
The Rose Room, and you can't take pictures in there, so I can't show you guys that. You guys can see it for yourselves. It was awesome.
After the library, we went outside to get some hot dogs. American natto dog. The hot dogs were super good, but we had to keep moving if we were gonna see everything on time. Walking around the library, we arrived at Bryant Park. I think this is supposedly where Ash got stabbed by Lau. It was a super relaxing area compared to what was coming. Walking a few more blocks down, we arrived at Times Square.
Give us some New York energy!
As you saw in those videos, Times Square was a very lively place to be. I used to be a bit of a theater kid too, so Broadway was also very fun to walk down. After shopping, I got a bit hungry, so we stopped by a famous restaurant to grab some cheesecake for the birthday boy.
Happy birthday, Ashu! Yay!
So while I'm eating this cheesecake, let me update you guys on what's been going on with this channel. First of all, thank you so much for 600 and more followers, and I'm really sorry for the lack of videos lately. I've mentioned briefly in my older videos and comments that I sometimes struggle with mental health. I actually made a ton of videos while I was gone too. One analyzing the opening, the ending, the animals in Banana Fish and what they might symbolize. I started on the script for my remake of the representation of sexual violence video, the representation of sexism, the books and movies that might have influenced Yoshida, and the real life events that occurred around the same time that it was written. But I randomly got super overwhelmed and frustrated. I was actually really close to finishing some of these and deleted them right before I posted them. The sexual violence video essay is probably the only one out of the ones that I've mentioned that I'm still trying to perfect. Short break from the updates, I know I'm talking a whole lot, but in Grand Central Station you will find the oyster bar where Max and Ash ate in episode 11. New York was able to give me the break that I desperately needed. I'm doing so much better now, and I've decided to start taking medication for this, so I'm really hoping to post more in the future and stay more on top of things. If you want to see me make a video about any topic in particular, let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. Taking the green subway at Grand Central Station, we are now at South Street Seaport, where Ash jumps into the water in episode 5. Right around the corner, you will be able to see the iconic Brooklyn Bridge. Honestly, this part was my favorite out of the entire trip. This bridge is also the same bridge from opening number 2. After this, I just kind of walked around for a little bit. The sights I saw were awesome. I stayed until the sun went down and was able to see some of the city lights. This was the moment I felt like I was actually in New York. Even though this wasn't technically in Banana Fish, I totally recommend going onto the Brooklyn Bridge while the sun's going down because that was just gorgeous. taking the green subway again, we traveled back up to 33rd Street to grab some pizza for dinner. We're back on the subway. I actually just saw a fight happen, and it was a lot similar to Arthur and Ash's, but it was very serious. So, you know, we did not joke about that. It was to the point where the cops actually came to make sure that they wouldn't push each other off of the sides because the train was coming. And I was like, oh my god, don't be gangsters, because it is very scary and unsafe, and y'all could get arrested or die and stuff. Even though it was dangerous, the subway was really cool to see, and it was interesting that the train was specifically green too. Walking outside, we went to Times Square again to see what it would look like at night. It did not disappoint. There were 10 times more people than there were during the daytime, and the lights were so bright. I also got an ice cream. But yeah, again, not part of Banana Fish, but totally recommend visiting. Walking to the hotel after having some pizza, my feet hurt so much, it took everything in me not to just pass out on the bed.
It is 6 a.m. I woke up in New York, so I don't really care, but I only got like 5 hours of sleep. We actually have a lot to do today. We're gonna go to the museum. It's gonna be a super long walk. We're gonna try and stop places while we walk up there.
After some breakfast, we started walking. On the way to Columbus Circle, we found the premier deli from episode 17. And a little way across the street, you'll find Carnegie Hall. This is where Ash and Dino went to go see a concert in episode 19. There's a few more diners to pass by, and then we arrived at Columbus Circle where we got to see the subway where Max dropped Ash off in episode 11. Then we passed by a bunch of apartments on 59th Street. I think I passed by one Columbus place, but couldn't tell where exactly it was. This was the general area where Ash and Eiji stayed after episode 12. We also got to pass by Mount Sinai West, where Eiji was hospitalized. I will warn you guys though, this is more of a residential area and not really for tourists to visit, so please be mindful of others. Circling back to Central Park, we had some time before the museum opened, so we decided to take a relaxing walk. We got to see some more New York skyscrapers from a distance, and even the Central Park Zoo, where the movie Madagascar took place. Walking back towards the museum, we happened to cross paths with the mall, where Ash and Blanca met in episode 24. Sitting on the benches, I really wanted Ash to come up behind me so bad. The mall was such a beautiful area, and live musicians were everywhere, making the experience even more enchanting. The museum finally opened at 10 a.m. This is the moment I've been waiting for as a Yutlung kitty. I was so excited I almost fell down the freaking stairs. If you've seen my older videos, you know that the museum scenes are my personal favorite, and that Yutlung is my favorite character. In the museum, we went from top to bottom. Starting with the light show that I got to see, I was imagining how the museum might have looked during nighttime. It was super cool and fun just to look around, and the exhibits were pretty cool too. Next, we went to the dinosaurs! Wow! If I played hide and seek in here in the daytime, it would be scary because I literally don't know which fossil is gonna come out of each wall. Imagine that during nighttime with like a cold-blooded murderer. Teen Ash, what the fuck? Yeah, the dinosaurs had me geeking out so much. I probably recorded the most in here, so editing this was such a pain. But I loved remembering how Ash took down so many of Yutlung's gang members with just a knife in the dark. This whole floor was just amazing, so I'll let you look around in it. After the dinosaurs, we kept going down and down and down and down until we reached the first floor, the Hall of Biodiversity. Look familiar to anyone? After all the insects we saw the big blue fucking whale! And right behind it, you'll see the stairs Yutlung was kicked off of. The room was a little chilly, and I was just playing around with myself the entire time, but it was super, super fun. On top of the stairs is a vaccination center, so if you want to get vaccinated, that goes right down there, shooting him, and then Ash was up there with Yutlung, and then and then we left. It is very spooky down here. It's a subway, but it's like the second floor down. I'm sorry, my sleep is catching up to me. After some lunch, we had to go home, but we left at around 2 p.m., which made it officially 24 hours spent in New York and 24 hours of the best time of my life. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. I love you guys! Thank you for coming with me on this amazing
And I miss my